Okay, thanks for watching this video on how to download and install ANKI and then how to use it to get the most out of it in terms of helping your child with their spelling. So you can click on the link I sent you, or you can just Google ANKI and this will be the first hit. Once you've clicked on this, you can click on download, and you just want the download ANKI for Windows 10 to 11. You can use mobile apps, but you have to have this installed on the computer first, and I'll go through that in a little bit. I've already got this installed on my computer, so I'm not going to download it again. Once that's downloaded, double click that exe file, and ANKI will open. Then you need to go to Teams, where I've sent you the deck, or to the email that I've sent you the deck on, and double click that. And it'll open in ANKI. The first thing it'll do is ask you to create a profile. So just click add, put in your student's name. So I'll just put in my name. And then when you click open, it opens up onto ANKI itself with all the decks. So you're only going to have one deck, and this is what it should look like. Learning and review will be 0, new will be 20. This is the amount of new cards you're going to see from the deck every day. Now, if your student is doing face-to-face learning and they're just getting the words that they got wrong, they won't have 20 new here because they're usually only getting a couple wrong. So once you're in here, the student just clicks Study Now.
Author.
So here you can hear the first word. I heard author, so I'm going to spell it wrong just to show you what it does.
Author.
So here you can see it tells you which letters are right, which letters are wrong, how to spell it correctly, how many morphographs that the word's made up of. In this case, it's only one, and any spelling rules. So down here is where the magic happens. Since I got it wrong, I would click, I want to see that again in less than a minute. Lots of repetition to begin with until we're getting it right, and then we move up. And if you got it wrong a couple of times, or even once, I'd say I want to see it again the next day just to get that repetition up. But if you nailed it very first time, didn't even have to think about it, easy. Maybe if you had to think about it a little bit, maybe one day, see it again tomorrow. In this case, I'm going to say less than a minute.
Break.
Again.
Cheap things are sure to break.
Break. So I knew that one.
Break.
So I could see it
Cheap
green.
things
Only
are
one
sure to
morphograph. Easy.
Curable. Curable.
Okay, so here we have a word that has two morphographs and a rule. So curable is a word that the two morphographs are cure and able, and the rule is we drop the final leaf from a word when the next morphograph begins with the vowel letter. So if they get the word wrong, they can look at their morphographs, look at the rule, and go, oh, that's right, I'd forgotten that rule. This is the sort of things that they need to have automated in learning. And so, and then they can do it again, and if they get it next time, they move up. Okay, so they've learned how to practice and they've learned how to use these. These times will change, so if they pick easy the first time, 4 days, it might be 8 days next time, etc., etc. So now, if you've done that, I want to show you a couple of other things. One is, let's say your child's struggling a little bit with doing 20 new cards a day. They might have some processing issues or maybe some working memory issues. What you can do is go down here to options, and new cards per day, it's the very first option, drop it down to 10, see how that goes, drop it down to 5 if you still need to. It just means you're going to massively extend how long it's going to take to get through the deck. Reviews, I'd leave maximum reviews at 200, especially if you drop it down to 10, there just won't be that many reviews each day. And it's really important that the ANKI decks are being done every day, because you end up having a lot more reviews because they bank up, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. And then you just click save here. I don't want to change mine to 10, so I'm just going to put it back on 20, and then I click save. So that's how you change the amount that you see every day. The review cards are just going to be depending on that button, so there's nothing to change there. If your child lives between multiple houses, like my son does, or they've got an iPad, or they've got a phone that they want to be doing this on, you can sync, you can set yourself up an account here, and you log in. I've already logged in, I've already made my account, and you can see I've got a multiplication deck here as well. My son has his own account, and then what you can actually do is it'll sync between those two computers, or that iPhone or tablet. Now, the apps are here. There's links to the apps on the website, the same place we downloaded. I just want to point out that the guys who made this, they don't charge anything for this open source software, which is awesome. It's like industry standard in terms of memory retention stuff. ANKI Mobile is quite expensive because this is where they make their money. This is the iOS app. I think it's $40 Australian. This is the the American one. The good news for Android users is they didn't make the Android app, but it was based on their open source software. They gave the code to the guys who made this. And so these people don't charge anything. So if you've got Android, you can use it for free. You can just use the web itself, but you can't type in the words. So if you remember how here when we're studying,
Curable.
it's curable, I know I have to drop the E. See how I'm typing in this word? You can't do that on the web
Curable.
version. So it's not ideal. So that's how you can sync. The last thing I want to show you is stats, and this is awesome. So this gives us so much information. So if the first thing it gives us is the number of reviews due in the future. So this is day 0. So today we've got 2 cards that are due. In 5 days, we've got 8 cards due. In 20 days, we've got 61 cards due. So you can kind of just see how they're going in terms of their review count. This is what I love. You can see what days they've been doing it and what days they've missed. You can see I did a heap on Tuesday. The darker the blue, the more cards they went through. This one shows the number of questions that you've answered. So, when on this 15 days ago, we did 63 reviews, and of that 63, 55 were learning. So it was the first time that we'd seen those cards. And then young, I think only the first time, and then young is ones we've seen maybe once or twice, and mature is the ones that we've seen. We've got 0 of those yet, but they're the ones that the memory is maturing. We're going to get to that stage where we don't have to be doing this much more. Down here is just a breakdown of the cards, of how many cards you've seen that are new, young, learning, mature, all that sort of stuff. Review intervals. So here, if we run our thing over, we've got 14 cards with a 5-day interval. Up here we have 2 cards with a 36-day interval. So that means next time that card pops up, at the moment it's 36 days before we're going to see that card again. If that's easy again, that might double up might go up to 50 or something like that. The algorithm is really, really good. Down here is just how easy you're finding the cards, so which buttons are they pressing. Might be a really good one if your child's still not really progressing very much. You can kind of have a look and see, how often they're hitting easy. Hourly breakdown to see how many ones they get correct at different times of the day, so you can work out what the best time of the day for them to be doing it is. I really like this one. So these are the learning cards. So this is the first time we see it. And you can see the breakdown of how often they press button 1 to 4. So 4 is the one where it's easy, don't show it again for ages. Button 1 is the one where it's hard, show me again in less than a minute. And then young here, so as we're hoping as we move to young and mature, we're seeing more of those button 4 presses. And down here we'd be expecting to see more of the button 1, 2 and 3 presses. And this last one is just new cards that have been added. This will be relevant for students who are doing the program face-to-face, and I'll be sending out decks every couple of days. So hopefully that is everything that you kind of need to know about ANKI. I hope that makes a lot of sense. If you have got any questions, feel free to shoot me through any questions that you have. I'm happy to answer them, but I think hopefully that will solve most of the problems.